And then there's this exam called jam, right? So on my way home, I was just see different places like saying buy jam is like an entry exam for universities generally. I was just seeing places saying buy your jam for me. I was like, God forbid, I'm not writing jam a third time. Like, she was like, this is the last day. If you don't do it today, you can't do it. But my mom, I was like, no, like in my head, I didn't tell her this. I was like, yeah. But I was thinking, no, like, I'm going to the UK. But I was just like, let me just pick up the admission letter. Then on Monday, I went to the visa office and opened my passport, and there was no visa. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Tomi Daniels. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. I film about faith, I film about relationships, love, I love love. I film about property, I film about lifestyle. So there's definitely something for everyone here. So please make sure to stick around, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and leave a comment as well. Let me know you're here, let me know you're new here. Okay, all right, today I'm going to give a story time of when I failed. Pretty much I failed my O-levels or GCSEs if you're in the UK. I failed my WAEC if you're in Nigeria, which was the actual exam, and I failed it only to finish with a first class in my undergrad, all in the space of like 4 years, thereabouts. So if you want to know more, it's an interesting story, but it also has lots of points. So if you want to know more, keep watching. All right, so I was 17, I think, and my final year of secondary school in Nigeria. And I remember, like, all true, like, I was above average. I wasn't an average student. I was a bit above average. However, there were some subjects that I particularly struggled with, and maths was one of them. And now to go to uni in Nigeria, you had to go to uni in Nigeria, you had to pass maths and English in addition to like other subjects that are specific to your course or the course you want to study. So maths and English was the compulsory for everyone across board, right? English I was fine with, but maths, like, it was just that one subject that I always struggled with. Every other thing I was fine, like, I could get through. So I was just kind of hoping and praying that, with this exam, I would just about like get, manage to get just pass, right? Even if it's a C is the minimum. So I think a C is about 50% thereabout. So it's if you can get a C or a C6, you'll be fine. Then I remember on this fateful day, the results came out. I went to check. I can't remember how we checked. Maybe checked online, or I went in. Probably must have been online, I think. And I failed maths, guys. It was like my life came crashing. I was so upset. Like, I put so much pressure on myself as well. Like, I really, really, really wanted to do well. So I remember, like, when I got the result, when my mom came back from work, like, I was even so ashamed to tell her, like, that I'd failed. I was crying. I just remember sitting around, a room, or just like not in a room, like just at the door, and I was just crying. I guess I was crying so much she couldn't even tell me off, because I think I can't remember what that reaction was, but I just remember like crying and taking it so badly. Now before then, I'd written an exam to go into university in Nigeria, but the university, it wasn't. Okay, so there was a program that you could do. Maybe I guess it can be like an equivalent of a foundation year, maybe not really, because it's called a diploma, and it was to go to University of Lagos, if you're familiar with and it was to study law as well. Like I didn't I wasn't really sure what to study. Anyway, it was to study law. It was University of Lagos, and I'd written this diploma exam, and if you get selected or if you pass the exam, then you can do that for 1 year, and then if at the end of that year you pass the exam, then you go straight into your next year. So it was basically going to be like your first year of university. So you won't lose any year like staying at home. I wasn't trying to do a gap year or anything like that. In fact, gap years are not really popular in Nigeria. If you're doing a gap year, it's really because you're unable to get into uni most times, and maybe some people intentionally do that now, but then it was really just because you didn't get into university. Anyway, I'd done that exam, and I don't know, like, when I said that exam was like maths and English, the diploma exam. So this was prior to my WAEC result coming out, my O-levels coming out. That exam was difficult, like absolutely difficult. It was like further maths, like it wasn't just your standard maths. And me, that I was still struggling with, like, your regular, maths. So it was a real struggle for me, and I was just guessing my way through it. But you guys know that miraculously I passed. I don't know how. I passed and I got admission. But then, because I didn't get the, as I said, you know, you needed to have your maths and English. I didn't get that. They didn't admit me. So it was such a terrible experience for me, which meant that I had to resit the exams while my mates had gone into university. Some of them had left the country, but then I had to like resit those exams. So anyway, for that year, I started taking classes. I was taking classes because also when you're rewriting the exam, you have to rewrite the whole thing, so it's not just about one rewriting just that subject. So I had to rewrite everything, and in doing that, I just made up my mind that, you know, this math, it's me and you, like we're going to solve this, you know, once and for all. We're going to trash this out. So I was so like, even like where I was taking like my tutorial classes and stuff, it wasn't very like conducive. Like I remember like the first day during the maths exam, the maths class, I was like sitting right at the back. It was very, very uncomfortable, but I was just like, I was paying attention. Like I did not let anything like disturb me. I was so determined. Like I was laser focused. I was like, I'm going to get everything. So, and then after like, anyway, fast forward, I went through like, you know, the classes. After that, like, I would take past questions. When I get back home, like, I would study, like, continue working on it until I realized that actually, like, you know, I started to enjoy it. It wasn't just the case. Like, I was beginning to understand it because I was giving time to it. I started to enjoy maths. I was like, wow, like, I don't know how I went from that person, you know, to this person. Then fast forward to the time where I was writing the exams. I remember, like, where I was writing. So we couldn't do it in my school or the secondary school I went to. I had to go and write in another school. I remember that there was like, again, this is like a Nigerian concept, but there was vast exam malpractice it's not a Nigerian concept, but what is the Nigerian concept? In fact, that the school was also like helping, like there was just corruption. So the school was helping you to cheat as well. But I remember like, you know, I was like, God, I'm going to do, like, I'm definitely not going to do this. I remember like, so the teacher would write like the answers. So I think you have two parts. So there's like the objectives and there's the theory. So the objectives part, they would write the answers on the board. And because the answers are on the board, I'm like, I'm not going to look at it. I was so intentional about it. And I was like, you know, I'm going to do this honorably. I'm going to honor God in doing this. So I would put my head down the whole time because I know the answers were on the board. So I couldn't look up at all. So it was uncomfortable. I was putting myself through that. And yeah, fast forward, I got a B. I ended up getting a B from a D that I'd previously gotten. So I was like, yeah, all fun and games. But what had now happened is that in that time, in that 1 year, when I was like, two of my sisters had moved to the UK, and then they started nursing the idea of me coming to study in the UK. I love the idea. Absolutely love it. So again, I did the diploma exam and like, you know, all the other exams for like the universities I wanted to go to. Again, still studying law. I passed it again. However, by the time that my sisters were deciding, okay, that I should come around, so I applied for visa to come to the UK, but then also, I've said the story before, but maybe not before like this. Anyway, I applied for a visa to come to the UK, but then also like still wrote the exams in Nigeria, the entry exams for universities in Nigeria. Now, the day that, say, my UK visa application decision was supposed to come out, say, on a Monday, Friday was the last day to register at the university because I got admission and, you know, I passed the exam and all of that. So I went to pick up the admission letter and then I remember the lady telling me that, look, if you don't pay, I think it was 10,000 naira then, if you don't pay to register, or the registration fees, like today is the last day, and I think it was even on a Friday evening or quite late on Friday or late afternoon that I was there. She was like, this is the last day, if you don't do it today you can't do it. But I was like, no, like in my head I didn't tell her this. I was like, yeah, but I was thinking, no, like, you know, I'm going to the UK, but I was just like, let me just pick up the admission letter. Then on Monday I went to the visa office and opened my passport and there was no visa. Guys, there was no visa. That was another. That's completely again. I was just like, what is going on? Am I going to wait at home for another 2 years? Like this university, they're saying that, you know, the admission is closed, so I can't. I missed the admission deadline, so am I going to have to wait another year? And there's no visa. This would be like 2 years. Oh no, I'd already waited. No, this would not be like waiting for 2 years. So I was like, God, please. I remember like it was my mom and I that went to get the visa decision. We went straight from the visa office to the university to go to like their offices and start asking, and they're like, no, no, no. Went from person to person, like everyone we knew, they're like, no, it's not possible. We got eventually, I think we even got to the VC. The VC is like the head of the university, vice chancellor, and it was like, no, like it's not possible. Sorry. So when I was going home that day, I was so devastated. I was just thinking, and then there's this exam called JAM, right? So on my way home, I was looking at, I was just see different places like saying, JAM is like an entry exam for universities generally. I was seeing places saying, buy your JAM for me. I was like, God forbid, I am not writing JAM a third time. Like, you know, I didn't know what was going to happen, but I don't know. I was just like, God, let your will be done. And in this time, like, you know, when I was at home, like, you know, I guess my faith in God had began to, you know, really grow. And I remember praying, like, I knelt down and I said, God, let your will be done. And that was a really difficult prayer because I really, really wanted to go to the UK. So for me to start praying and saying, God, let your will be done when it's looking like this is not going to happen, it was a very honest and a difficult prayer. And anyway, I reapplied. I think I reapplied pretty much immediately for the visa, and I got it this time around. So I was able to like resume at the same time to start my foundation course in the UK. And yeah, now what happened was, in that time where I was at home, you know, that year when I was saying I was taking tutorial classes and all of that, I'd realized that, you know, from getting a D to getting a B, I'd realized that actually, if you really wanted to achieve stuff, you just need to put your mind to it. So that was a really, really good lesson for me in that time. So when I got to the UK, like I took my studies so seriously. Like my friends, like would be chilling, like hanging out. Like from day one, I was like going to library after class, even when there was barely, you know, anything to study. And yeah, a few years later, I graduated. My bachelor's degree, and I graduated with the first class, and I was the only one actually in my degree that had the first class. And honestly, like I remember walking down the hall during my graduation ceremony, and I think I got an award, something like it was, yeah, I remember exactly. This was how many years ago, but I remember like it was like saying, oh, the Garrett Jones Prize for Outstanding Achievement in Business and Management goes to my full name, you know. Not like how they struggle how people struggle my full name. Anyway, the point of this video was, obviously, you know, it was fun, but I think there were a lot of vital points in it, in the sense that I went from that year, I think it was a classic example of God making everything work together for our good, and, you know, learning lessons that I was able to take on, like the lesson of knowing that if I put my mind to something, I can achieve it. So because I put my mind to, like, you know, learning and being better and understanding maths, like now I understood it. Because I put my mind to, like, you know, I wanted to finish with the first class, now, like, you know, I could achieve it, and I could see how that was easily achievable. Yes, it meant like I was, you know, doing a lot of work and stuff, but this is just to encourage you that if you're going through a bad patch, or you're currently facing a downtime, you know, things can change. You can work on it. You can improve. It can get better with the help of God. And just knowing that it's possible. It's possible. Just because right now you're a C student or you're a B student doesn't mean that, you know, the tide cannot change. Or just because, you know, you have all these things working against you at the moment doesn't mean that, you know, things cannot change. Like even that principle, like I even put into like some of my weight loss, the different times I've tried weight loss. I need to go on another one. Anyway, that's a different topic. But like, you know, I just realized that you can really do it. Like if you want to lose weight, you can do it. If you want to, you know, start a business, you can do it. Your past failures don't have to define you. Rather, you can use them as a stepping stone to the future that you want, or to the reality that you want. All right, I hope you learned a few things from this, and yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. Please remember to subscribe, leave a comment, like, share, and share again. All right, thank you so much. Like, come your way again. It's Tommy Daniels. Goodbye.